Hello guys, welcome to Algorithms Made Easy. My name is Rajat and today we will be discussing the question Jump Game Part 6. In this question we are given a 0 indexed integer array and an integer k. We are initially standing at index 0. In one move we can jump at most k steps forward without going outside the boundary of the array. So we need to reach the last index of the array. The score is the sum of all values at the index that we visited. We need to return the maximum score that we can get. There are sample examples given to us. Now let's first discuss what this problem is all about and how we can solve this. So this is the input array given to us, and similar to what we have in all the jump game related questions, we are standing at the 0 index and we need to reach the last index. In this particular problem, we can jump from any index to the next index and return at the end the maximum sum. Now, you will be thinking that we could have just added all the positive values and then return it as it will be the maximum sum. But we do have a constraint on the number of jumps that we can make from any particular index, and that is represented by k in this case, which is 2. So this k equals to 2 represent the maximum number of jumps that you can make in forward direction from any particular index. Now, talking about the jump. When we jump from one index to other, we need to add the value present at the two indexes. And till the point we reach the last index, we need to sum all the index value that we have covered during our jump and return the maximum sum that we can get during all the jumps, along with the constraint that we have in place that we cannot jump more than k steps at a time. So now let's back up a little. From index 0, we can either jump to index 1, wherein we get the sum as 0 because 1 plus of minus 1 is equals to 0, or we could have jumped 2 indexes and get the sum as minus 1, which is 1 minus 2 equals to minus 1. Now let's consider that we are at the index 1 and we need to jump further. In this case, we can jump to index 2 and 3. When we jump to index 2, we get the sum as 0, which is the previous sum, plus of the current value is minus 2 and we get minus 2. And if we were to jump on index 3, we will get 0 plus 4, which is the current value, equals to 4. Now, the value 4 represent what will be the maximum sum that we can get if we have started from index 0 and we can only jump at most 2 steps at a time. So now we are on this index 3 and we jump 2 steps to get the answer as 7 when we reach the last index. And this value 7 becomes the answer, as we can get 7 as the maximum value or the sum if we were to jump at most 2 steps at a time starting from index 0. If we were to put all the values of all the sum that we can get on that particular index, we will get this values that are shown below the current values. So 7 is the highest sum that we can get at the last index. At the second last index we can get minus 3, and then it's 4 and so on. And as we need to return the maximum sum that we can get at the last index, we will return 7 in this case. When we are at the last index, just focus your attention on the previous case steps. If we were to reach the last index, it won't be possible until and unless we have jumped from the previous k steps. There has to be one of the k step that we have jumped on, and then from that particular index we jumped on the last index in order to reach it with the maximum sum. So if I were to ask you that within these k steps which value you will choose in order to make the maximum sum at the last index, you will clearly choose the maximum of the two values, because the 3 is a constant value that will be added to whatever maximum that we can find from the previous k steps. In this case 4. And this holds true for any of the index. So if we try to move backwards with the same concept, we see that for any of the index starting from index 1, we need to see or find the maximum of the previous k steps and add that to the current value. If we can find the maximum of the previous k steps for that particular index, we can just add that value. And once we are done iterating throughout the array, at the end we will get the maximum sum that we can get starting from the index 0, taking at most k steps at a time. Now for index 0, there won't be any k steps before, so the value of index 0 will always be the value initially present in the input array. So what basically we are doing over here is, for every index starting from 1, we are finding out the maximum sum from all the I minus 1 to I minus k indexes, and then the sum or the maximum sum at that particular index becomes the value of that particular index and the max that we found in the previous step. Once we are done with this iteration, all we are left with is to return the maximum sum that exists for length minus 1, which is the last index. Now this is pretty much the explanation that we need in order to solve this particular problem, and there are multiple ways to solve this problem. We will be looking out at 2 ways to solve this problem. I'll recommend you to code this problem with the approach that we discussed over here, and if you face any issue, you can come back and see the rest of the video. So now it's time to code this particular approach. So these are the basic steps that we discussed. So we need to start off with iteration starting from index equals to 1, and we also need to find out the maximum sum between a window of k values. We can either use sorting for this k index, but using sorting inside a loop will create a high complexity close to n into k log k, because this loop is of n times, and as there are k values over here, it will be k log k. In order to reduce the time complexity over here, we can use priority queue, as it is a sorted data structures, and we can implement our custom comparator in that as well. So we will do that. We'll see to it what we need to store in this priority queue. We'll first define that. So now we need to loop from index 1 to the last index. So first of all, we need to find out the maximum sum that is present in between the index. That means there should be at most k values present in the priority queue. We need to know the index and also the maximum at that particular index. So answer for the indexes will lie in max, and initially its value will be of the 0th index, because we will be standing at the 0th index. In the priority queue, we need index and maximum, so we'll take an integer array. As the queue works in FIFO fashion, when we poll or remove a value, it will be removed from the top, and on the top we need the maximum value present in this k window. As by default, the priority queue holds the value in an increasing sequence. It will have the lowest value in the front, but we need the highest value, so we will implement a custom comparator. We'll have index as the 0th position and the value or the maximum at the first index. So we will sort this on the basis of maximum in the decreasing order. Once we are done with this, we need to offer a value. Initially the index is 0 and the value is nums of 0. We are done with this. So we need to make sure that there are only previous k values present with respect to this I, which means that the current I value greater than k, then we simply remove those values. This is to make sure that we only have the previous k values with respect to this particular index. Once we are done with this, we'll take a top value and take a peek of it. That way we are not removing that from the priority queue. The maximum will now become whatever the value is of the current index and the value at the top, and we are done with it. So we will just put this value again into the priority queue. The index is I and the value is max. Once we are done with all the iterations, the max will contain the answer for the maximum sum that we can achieve. So this covers up with all the steps that we mentioned over here. For every index starting from 1 we are checking if the priority queue contains only the k values relevant to this particular index. We are taking out the top value with the maximum sum and adding that into the nums. At the end we are just offering or adding the current index with the maximum sum that we got. Once we are done with this, the maximum value will be of n minus 1 that will be residing in this max variable, and we will be returning that. So when we try to run this code for the sample test cases, so it ran successfully. Let's submit this. So it got submitted successfully. Now in this case, as we can see, we are going n times for this for loop, and whenever we are trying to add a value into the priority queue, it takes log of n. Well, in this case the size of the priority queue won't increase beyond k, so it will be log k. So the time complexity becomes n log k, while the space complexity is O of k, because we are using a priority queue and its size can reach up to k. Now the question arises, can we optimize this approach? Is there a way where we get this maximum without using a priority queue? That way we can reduce the time complexity to O of n. In order to do that, we need to use a data structure which we call DQ. Now DQ is a data structure which is a doubly ended queue, in which it is possible for us to do the add or remove operation from both the end of the queue. So we'll now try to modify this particular code itself. We won't use priority queue, we will use DQ. Now array DQ is not a sorted data structure, but it does have all the methods which are in the priority queue. We do not need a max in this case, we just need to put the index. So we put on the index 0 as the starting point. So in order to remove all the values which are less than the current sum that we have got, what we can do is we can check if the queue is empty or not. If it is not empty and y is greater than or equals to the last ANDed values, so we will just poll the last values. Now as we are comparing this num of I, that means we have updated the values. The highest value will be at the top of the queue. We have already took out the value and updated the nums. We need to add the value into this DQ, and this current value will be the current index. And now we need to just check if the size of the DQ is exceeding k. So if the size of the queue is greater than or equals to k, we will just remove the extra element. At the end, the value will reside in nums for n minus 1, as we are continuously updating the input array. Now let's clean this code. So what we are doing over here is we have initialized a DQ. We are offering the initial index from which we are starting. We are updating the value at the index that we are searching the answer for, and adding the first value in the queue into this nums of I. This will update the value, and now we remove from the end all the values which are less than this particular value, and then we add the value at the end. And once we have more than k values in this particular DQ, we will be removing the values from the start of the queue. This solution is also in line with what we have discussed earlier. We are doing the same thing, but this time we are using a doubly ended queue, so that there is no need for us to have a sorted result, and we can decrease the time complexity. Now let's try to run this code for the sample test cases. So it ran successfully. Let's submit this. So it also got submitted successfully. The time complexity in this case, as we discussed, is O of n, because we are not using any sorting in this particular case, while the space complexity still remains O of k. I hope this video helped you. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.